Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to be taking a look at the top 13 MetaZoo cards that have been released so far. I just picked all the best ones and I didn't want to cut any good ones out, so instead of doing a top 10, I'll just do a top 13. It's probably more fitting for a TCG about cryptids and supernatural things anyway. And when MetaZoo releases more sets, I'll be making a part 2 of this video. So without any further ado, let's just get right into it. The artwork of this Boogeyman card is one of my favorites because of how creepy it is. You've got this bedroom that looks pretty cozy, but then this gigantic demon comes crawling out of the closet, and he's about to grab whoever's in the room. This Boogeyman's probably taller than the ceiling if he were to stand upright, and his eyes are so freaky the way they're sunken into his face. All those cracks in the wall are really creepy too. And I like what the text at the bottom of the card says. Having trouble sleeping? Did you hear something go bump in the night? Good. This Blackeyed Children card is really creepy, but it's also pretty funny if you notice what's going on. The kids had come up to this house to get candy because they're trick-or-treating, and the owner of the house had put this bowl of candy out. The bowl's empty though, and these kids are angry, so they knocked on the door. You can see the person answer the door, and he's looking at the kids, because on the stomach of the front kid you can see a shadow. I also like how these kids are dressed up as other MetaZoo creatures. The front one's dressed as the Loveland Frogman, the one on the right's probably the Bunny Man, and then the one on the left is the Kalublik. MetaZoo did a collaboration with Topz in 2021 and 2022, and since the Topz cards are more for collecting and don't have to follow any formatting for the MetaZoo game itself, they're able to be even more creative with the designs. One of the best is this Topz Wilderness collaboration art card. There's apparently only a single image of this card on the internet for some reason, so this is the highest resolution I can show you. This card features a lot of the creatures from the Wilderness expansion, such as the Bigfoot and the Cumberland Dragon. The woman sitting in the center is one of the main characters of MetaZoo. Her name's Rose Robinson, and apparently she's a caster with a specialty in nature magic. I love how adorable everything is in this art, even the Bigfoots are super cute. This Beastie Bash card is really adorable. The little monsters are dressed up for Halloween and going around trick-or-treating and collecting candy. The Kinderhook Blob is wearing the witch's hat and imp wings. It looks like he stopped to have some candy, but then he got a little bit carried away, and now he's had so much that he doesn't even want to get up. There's a little purple rabbit on the right dressed up like Freddy Krueger, and the blue joint snake has a cute clown costume on. It looks like there's a person sitting down too in the bottom left corner. He's probably also eating candy. This could even be like a little Halloween party that they're throwing in the alleyway. There's a lot of decorations around, and it looks like the two monsters on the right are running to meet up with the party. I knew that I recognized this illustration from somewhere when I first saw it. At first I was wondering if it was maybe like the Lord of the Rings, but there's no creatures like the Hide Behind in the series as far as I know. Dungeons & Dragons does have the Hide Behind, but the art made of it doesn't quite look the same. Then I realized this is the exact scene from Gravity Falls, and Dipper's Guide to the Unexplained, where he talks about the Hide Behind. I like this scene from MetaZoo way more though, because it's a lot more sinister, with the woods only being illuminated by that lumberjack's lantern. It looks like he's walking by himself, and he looks a bit wary, like he can feel that there's something lurking around. I really like these cards that feature a lot of different creatures, and there's something fun going on too in this one. This card was made to celebrate MetaZoo's first year anniversary, and it's really lighthearted, with them celebrating the brand's success like it's their birthday. Next, we've got the first of the stained glass token cards. This one has a really nice, simplistic style, and it shows the alternately colored Mothman flying over a cathedral, which makes sense because cathedrals have stained glass windows themselves. I believe that person in the front is supposed to be Indrid or possibly Adam Ackler, but it's hard to tell. It's cool though how the bright colors in the daytime setting contrast so much with the set that the card's from, which is Nightfall. I think that the chibi young versions of the cryptids are adorable, and they add a lot more variety to the MetaZoo decks. It's cute that MetaZoo made a card showing the baby Mothman, Bigfoot, and Cumberland Dragon playing together. I like the approach that MetaZoo takes with a lot of these cryptids. Instead of just trying to make them all look scary, they make a lot of them seem kind of friendly, which makes them more likable. Speaking of cryptids that seem friendly and non-menacing, I'm really fond of this crazy critter of Bald Mountain. It's based on this creature that several people claim to have seen in the forests of Washington State in 1974. What I like about this illustration is that it has a very forlorn look, because this alien was in a spaceship that crash-landed on Earth, and since the ship's destroyed, it has no way to get back home, so it just despairingly wanders around, wondering if it will ever be rescued and taken back home. The almost complete darkness of the night sky really drives home the desolate feeling the creature has when it looks up at the sky. Here's a really lovely card. This is one of my favorite artworks for sure. It sort of reminds me of the Gravity Falls episode where they go trick-or-treating because of the monster that you can see lurking around and watching the trick-or-treaters. This card's an alternate art of the Suburban card, so it's the same neighborhood just during Halloween and from a different perspective. Probably the coolest card out of the Topz set is the Chapter 1 cover, which is a print of the front cover of the first comic that MetaZoo released to coincide with the Cryptid Nation set. It's really cool because it shows almost every cryptid featured in the first expansion of MetaZoo, and the fact that it looks like a tiny comic book makes it one of the best MetaZoo cards without a doubt. In this Fright Night card that MetaZoo made for their Halloween set, they've got some of the least scary beasties all hanging out together watching a scary movie on Halloween night. If they knew that the Bunny Man was behind them, they'd be a lot more terrified, since he's probably one of the creepiest and most dangerous cryptids. Well, he's not even actually a cryptid, he's based on an actual person. It's funny though, because he's just watching the movie. He doesn't seem like he wants to hurt anyone, for now. Aside from the amazing art style of this illustration, the reason why I like this card so much is because it features the main characters of the first 4 expansions of MetaZoo, including the UFO expansion, which hasn't even come out yet. You've got Mothman for Cryptid Nation, the Grim Reaper for Nightfall, the Cumberland Dragon for Wilderness, and then the UFO. The rift in the middle looks like a wormhole too, because the lore behind the cryptids is that some interdimensional wormholes had opened up around the world, and then the cryptids came through them. Alright guys, so that's that for my top 13 MetaZoo cards, as of the Wilderness expansion. The UFO set's coming out soon, and I'll be covering that set in detail in upcoming videos. I've also heard that the 5th set, which is coming out October 20th, is called a Ouija, and it's based on ghosts and demons, so I'm really looking forward to that set too. Let me know what your favorite MetaZoo cards are in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I've got a lot more ideas for MetaZoo videos, so be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and see you then.